can't hang out with we went to high school with. There's no possible way I can hang out with them anymore because they're still doing the same stuff. It's not because like we're better than them, but they're still doing the same things that we were doing back in high school. Like there's nothing to talk about. When I talk to them, it's like so like boring. It's like, what are you doing? You're like, so we don't want the same things, or urgency is not the same, vibrations not the same. So I love you. I love them to this day. That's not an issue, but we're not going the same direction, you know? So that's very important for you. So when we start talking about money, there's 3 C's. Let me stay on time with this. There's 3 C's. Okay. 3 C's. The first one is very important. And as an entrepreneur, it's going to be very, very important for you to keep it up, which is your credit. Because in this game, you might have to, there might be some bills that you don't get to pay, some credit cards, whatever it is you got going on. It is what it is. So I highly recommend, as you're in your building years and what you got going on, keep your credit high. Keep your credit high. So focus on that. So I want you to write on your pages right now, what is your credit score? Whatever you're taking notes with, what is your credit score? What is it right now? What do you want your credit score to be? And by when? Because if you don't get a plan together, you're never going to be able to do it. Because at the end of the day, credit is one of the most powerful things. That's how like America's ran. They're going to check your credit score. So you want to go buy a car? You want to go, buy a house? You're going to go, buy at least a building. They're going to check your credit, so if your credit's on a low deal, you're not going to have that much opportunity. Okay. You're not going to have a lot of opportunity. So one of the biggest things you got to do is put a plan together. Do you have something that you check your credit score with? Is it Experian? Is it creditchecktotal.com? Like, what are you using that checks that every day? Because for those that are expecting high cash, which I'm looking at all your goals and dreams on purpose and your impact, you're going to want to have a high credit. Okay. So put plan together on that. So you stay in the high 7s, move to the 8s, so that you get things in essence for low interest. We always say only fools pay full price. Well, a lot of people are being overpriced because of bad credit. That's it. Yeah, right. So it was interesting. It was like someone was telling me like they had a Honda that they were spending $800 for a month. And I was like, that's crazy. Like I only spend like $600 for my M4. Like you're spending $800 for that? And like you could be driving that's crazy. Like, and I was like, oh, because your credit's messed up. That's why, so he's overpaying. Does that make sense? For something that you don't even want to be driving. So why am I bringing this up to you? Is because I wish someone would have had the conversation earlier, and maybe someone tried to, but I just wasn't open to hearing it. So hopefully you're listening to me. All right. Because it's very, very important, and especially when you want to start having office buildings and everything else, which I'm pretty sure everybody wants to do on this call if you don't already have that. So second thing is cash flow. Okay. Cash flow. So first one's credit. Next one's cash flow. And when I say cash flow, it's so important to really start understanding what your cash flow is. So what do I mean cash flow? Cash flow means if I decide to not do anything, let's say I get sick this month, injured, terminal illness, anything along those lines, what is my cash flow? Like, what do I have coming in regardless? That has nothing to do with my personal activity. So we play this game a lot, and it's called the rat race with my kids. Okay. Like that's all they want to play. Like every week Daddy, can we play rat race? Can we play rat race? They want to play it, right? Because it talks a lot about how money concepts and stuff like that work. And one of the biggest things it talks about, like if I bring Maddie over here right now, and I'll say, hey, Maddie, what's an asset? Assets put money in your pocket. What's liability? It takes money in my pocket. Okay, cool. And then we start breaking down residuals and everything like that because I want the language in their head early. So my point of bringing that up to you is very simple. You got to write down all your expenses. So what comes out your pocket? What are your liabilities? Okay. How much money do you make actively? And go look in the business too, personal. And then look at your override, which is passive. And if your passive does not overcome your expenses, you're in the rat race. I don't know if that just makes sense, right? So this is when it's in the game teaches like, so teaches you like how to go buy securities so you can have a residual of an extra $20 a month and you can start stacking that up. The game also teaches you how to go buy real estate so that I can get a tenant in there and starts paying me. How to position myself to have paper assets. It's all those different things that when you start bringing in your cash flow as business owners, do you put money in your IUL? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your cash flow? And if your cash flow has to overcome your expenses, and the only way to get your cash flow up is to actively go crazy on your personal pin first. Okay, so that's number 2. So getting your cash flow where you want it to be. So that's how we solve for things. Is, oh, we can't do that until our cash flow, a certain passive income, which means I didn't actively work for it. It comes in regardless of our work or not, overcomes a certain amount of money where I'm not stressed. Then once that overcomes that money, then I can go scale. That means now I can go buy another car if I want to buy another car. It means I can go buy another house if I want to go buy another house. I can go do other things because I'm not in a rat race. That's how you scale. But a lot of people, what they do is they go the opposite way and they get themselves stuck. And then that's the thing, goes back to affecting the credit and everything else. So it can collapse. I don't know if this is making sense or not. If not, we can always have a one-on-one conversation for time. Okay. What else is there? Next is currency. Currency. What type of currencies do you have? And when I say currencies, like what are you saying? Like, what does that mean? Like what type of solids do you have that are outside of only cash? So currency could be cash, right? So what's your cash like right now? Are you saving? Do you master your dollar? When you get a dollar, do you put a certain amount of cash away just in case for rainy days? Because this is not rainbows and sunshines here. It's going to be for a lot of rainy days. So are you prepared for that? Can you like hold a rainy day? Like if something happened where your business doesn't take off for the next 60 days and your passive shoots all the way down, your active is saying you can't sell nothing. What are you going to like? Do you have savings to be able to sustain, or are you going to go bankrupt? Most businesses right now are going what? Bankrupt. Because they obviously don't have a lot of what? Liquid cash to sustain, because their expenses overcome their passive that was coming in. Yeah. So does your cash, your currency are able to withhold you if an emergency happens? And then you look at other currencies as well. Do you got gold? Do you have other different, different currencies as well that outside of just a dollar for yourself? Some people like, I know Patrick is very big on cards, baseball cards. Oh my gosh, he's huge on it. Like, I remember we went to his house, and then he took us to his office. He was showing us like these special like cards that like he has to go get gloves for and everything, and this big old safe. Like it was crazy. It was like a big old safe he took it out of, and so I was like, damn, that's crazy. It's like, yeah, this card right here is like $200,000. It's like that car right there is a Ferrari. Like that's crazy, right? So like that also like some
diamonds.
Huh?
Diamonds.
Diamonds is big. Spring's very big on diamonds, right? Believe me, right? And that's also big. Jewelry's big. You might be a Rolex person. That sustains. So a lot of people are watch people. That holds. A lot of people will say, if I go travel somewhere, you better have a Rolex on, because if something ever happens to me, I can always sell my Rolex. Or if I have diamond earrings, I can always take care of myself if I don't have cash in my pocket. So those are different things, right? You can use as well. I like memorabilia. I have a lot of memorabilia. I got a lot of stuff that's signed from a lot of important people that's worth a lot of money on purpose. Okay, that's given from my wife and stuff like that as gifts. But I like that stuff because that stuff I can always, those are assets. So when I say currency, I'm saying, what assets do you have? But how do you buy assets? It comes from cash flow. This is a talk that is very important. So important, because times are going to get a little tougher here in regards to the world, in regards to like how things are going. Okay. It's going to get a little worse. So for us as business owners is to be prepared. Okay. Holy Spirit wanted me to have this conversation with each one of you on those three things, which again is, what was the first one? Credit. Get your credit together, because everything's about to go in, like let me tell you, we've been saying this before the pandemic, that everything's about to go on sale. Mm-hmm. Like everything's going on sale. It's gonna be like swap meet type deal. Okay. And it's all high brands. Does that make sense? Like it's not cheap product in the swap, like you're going swap meet brand, but like real legit product. So you're going to be able to swoop a lot of different things. Maybe you want to buy that house. Maybe you want to buy, get a new exotic car. Maybe you just want to put a lot of cash in the bank. I don't know what you want to do specifically, but it's coming. It's math. All right. It's math. GDP's the lowest it's ever been. Everything's going down. Go look on Zillow right now. Any neighborhood you want. You think the prices of those houses going up or going down? All going down. They're all going down. And who has cash is buying anything they want right now. So in our business, you can go make 60 grand a month. You can go make 90 grand a month. You can go make this type of money with GEB. You can be a brand new MD, don't even have no MDs yet, and still make that money. Isn't that crazy? That's our comp. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. You don't even have to have override to make the same amount of money someone has 40 MDs that makes. You can make the same amount of money with the power of GEB. So get your cash together, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. So credit number one, cash flow number two, get out of the rat race. The faster you get out of the rat race, the better for you, because then you can scale. You can think clearly. Your decisions are easier. You can coach a lot faster. Okay. You're actually more happier. And then the last one is currency. So when you take your cash flow, put your currencies together, your assets together that are valuable for yourself. That gives you peace. If some emergency ever happened, you always have peace. Cool. So those are the 3 C's. Future financial services. I will talk about that next session. MD system flow. You guys know the MD system flow already. Okay. So I want to go over that with you guys. You guys are going to go back to the first week and do it. Actually do it, because it actually works, So a lot of you now have your solidified visions together, but go back to, did you do the first week yet? Because a lot of you guys are saying you guys want to become SVPs, which I 100% believe you can. But there's a system flow to it. So the road to becoming a senior vice president goes back to the system flow. Did you complete your first week yet? So you got to be congruent. I just want to make sure you're congruent to what you're saying. So if you're saying you're going to become what you want to become, then make sure you go through the flow to become it. The same way you would coach a newest trainee saying, I want to become a marketing director. Well, have you been to Fast Start School yet? Nah, I don't need to go to Fast Start School to become an MD. Really? You don't need to go through the first week at all? Okay, no worries. You go do your thing. Tell us how it works out. Okay, so do that as well for yourself, and we'll be great. Next is the formula of financial freedom. Let me go to this really quickly. Let me share my screen. And then I have a calculator that I'm going to show you, and then the 3 pillars, and then we'll bounce. See if I can get this done really quick. There it goes. Because next session, we'll talk about all the other stuff that we missed. Okay, so the MD meeting. This is where we're in right now, where leader's vision becomes clear. Right here, solving for financial freedom. Okay, some of you say, I might see this before. Cool. The first time you see it, you just seen it. Second time you see it, you might get it. The third or fourth time is when you really understand it, because you can go apply. Okay, so solve for financial freedom. What does that really look like? Okay, so for you, these are all facts. So you guys got to solve for it when you're building your plan out. So licensed agent in the base shop. Okay, this is supposed to be 10,000, so you just know. A licensed agent in the base shop equals 10,000 points a year. That's a fact. Okay, So what does that equate in override in passive income, which means I didn't work for it, which would equate to what? $2,500. Okay. So if you had 40 licensed agents and you times that times 40 times 2,500, which is passive, that means by the end of the year, you'll have a what? A ring. See how simple that is? So you can scale this for 12 months if you like. Does everyone get that? I'm pretty sure we do. So you solve, you solve in your base shop how many licensed agents you want to create what type of passive income you want. Some of you guys want a $200,000 type of passive income. Well, that would be 80 licensed agents. You get my point? So you're now solving for what you want. Some of you might not want that. You might say, you know what, I'm cool with this making 50 grand passive. It gives me the lifestyle I want. Great. We'll solve for it. How many is that? Cut that in half. That's 20 licensed agents. Whatever it is, go solve for it so you're clear on what you want. Next is direct MDs. Okay. So direct marketing directors, that means you personally promoted them into your base shop through either you recruited them, number one, or exchange. Like those are the two ways you pop MDs, right? Either exchange like principles or you personally did it and built them yourself. Regardless, it all counts the same. Direct marketing directors are going to create anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 in passive income. Okay, it's going to create anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000 passive income. So if you have 6 direct marketing directors to you, that's going to give you a range of anywhere to what? $60,000 to $150,000 in passive income. And passive means you didn't go create it. Okay. Direct senior vice presidents. Because we talk pillars here, we don't talk promotions. Promotion is just a way to get you a bump in income. Great, congratulations. But we're talking pillars, and there's 5 pillars in our company, right? That's why you see 5 different points I'm bringing you. So direct senior vice presidents will bring anywhere from $50,000 to $200,000 in passive income. That's your range. Okay. So if you had 3 SVPs to you, then therefore you have anywhere from $150,000 to $600,000 in passive income. That means if you go under them more, then obviously it's going to grow more, right? Cool. Number 4 is what? Chairman's council. That's the next pillar. So if you wanted to have direct chairman's councils to you, now this goes back, that's why I'm having you guys talk about your vision, your mission, your impact. Like, where do you want to go? We're going to solve for like right now. So you can, it's very clear. I want to be a board council this year. I want to be a chairman's council with this amount of MDs and all that. Well, how much is going to pay you? Like, how's it going to be created for you? Cool. So direct chairman's council is going to create anywhere from $100,000 to $500,000 in passive income. Not bad. So what if you had 2 direct chairmans to you? That's $200,000 to $1 million in passive income. That's your range. Obviously, the more you pour into them, the more they come out. It's like watering a flower, right? For those that like gardening. All right. And last one is a board council, right? Which is the top of the company at this point. We had to create a new pillar in the company because PHP is growing at such a rapid rate. You only used to be 4 pillars. Now there's 5. So now direct board councils, if you had a direct board council to you, you will have a passive income to $500,000 to $2 million. And so maybe you're on this call and say, well, I heard one person say, well, I was talking to one of my people and they thought bigger than me. Great. That's what you want. You want an environment that it's burst someone thinking bigger than you. That's what you want, right? That's like, that'll be like my dad telling me, hey, Kurz, I would never want you to have more assets and more anything bigger than me in life. No, he created me to be bigger than him, right? Like, it's like me telling my kids, like, don't, no, you got to stop here. That's it. Well, we got, you can't go more than us. No, we want you to be bigger than us, right? So that's what you want. You want to be birthed to be bigger. You want to birth to make people bigger than you. So cool. So what if you added all of them up? Now, how big do you really think? That's 1.1 million to 3.85 million in the range. That's not bad income, right? What if you only did 50% of everything I just said here? Everything I just said, you did half of it. You still will have a 550,000 to $1.9 million type of business. And this is passive income, by the way. What if you only did 10% of it? Of everything I just talked about, of the 5 pillars, you just did 10% of that. You're still making 6 figures, passive. So you choose, like, what are you solving for? You got to solve for your financial freedom, because a lot of financial freedoms are different. Okay. For you, it's not free for someone else, but it does depend because it's your journey. What's your journey? What do you want? Okay. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's kind of move to the next thing. Anybody have any questions on this before I move? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Love it. Okay, cool. So let's go to the next, which is the calculator. So what I got next? Yeah, calculator. Oh, I'm excited about this. Okay, so we were talking about, like, how can we prepare the squad for what's going to happen? Like, how can you, like, be clear on what your journey is, right? And I've been talking to a lot of you about this already, but let's see if I can pull it up. So basically what's going to happen right now, I'm going to show you a calculator to solve for your championships. Let's see, here it goes. So Michael Jordan came, right? And, Michael Jordan came and said, you know what? I want to make sure this franchise, understand his language. Okay. Understand his language and why we call him the GOAT. He didn't say, I want to come and just be, he never said, I want to be the GOAT, by the way. If you ever listen to MJ, he never said, I want to be the GOAT. And understand his phases, because a lot of people don't follow like MJ really. All right. So I'm going to give you some history on it. Like, so MJ in North Carolina was all about where he wanted to go. So understand the phases. High school, he got cut. He said, I'm going to come back. All right, let me get to work. He grew too, by the way, which made him more appealing. He ended up getting a scholarship to North Carolina. He goes to North Carolina. Okay. First year, everybody's like, this dude is freaking talented. Like, he's really talented. Second year, Roy Jones, what I had a pleasure to get recruited by. Roy Jones goes, hey, this guy is not just good. He can actually become the best. And he actually has the capacity to become the best, the willingness to become the best. So he played for another 2 years at North Carolina. But for him, it was to become the best, because that's what he told Roy Jones. He says, I want to become the best. So he prepped himself to become the best. He goes to what? Chicago last year, because he was going to stay at North Carolina. He decided to leave because Dean Smith said, you need to go. Like, you're too talented. Like, we can win another championship. I like you, but you need to go. Like, this is a lid over here. You need to go. So he goes to Chicago, gets drafted number 2, right? Okay. So he gets drafted, and you listen to his interview. That's why we had to play the first 2 minutes. He shifted his mindset, and this is why he exploded. His mindset said, look I'm not here. Then he switched to we. I think you said it, Anthony. He says, they drafted me. They obviously believe in me. I'm on a low market here. Nobody comes here. It's always vacant in here. But I know who I am, and I'm going to change this franchise because I want respect for the franchise, because they gave me an opportunity. Did you see the difference? So once he switched from I to I'm going to change this, because everybody that comes in here is going to come to something different. I don't like what it is now. I'm going to change the environment because I'm going to make sure the next layer that's coming in is ready to win. We don't win now, but the next layer coming in is going to win. And the only way to make sure that happens is someone needs to lead it. So as he said, no, it's not impossible. Listen to his words. I know it's not impossible. We will get it done. And you saw what he did. It took 7 years for him to do it, by the way. It wasn't an overnight thing. It took 7 years for him to do it. Getting beat over and over and over, watching the Celtics, watching the Detroit Pistons whoop on his ass, all this different stuff over and over and over again. But obviously, you know the story if you watch The Last Dance. Okay, so my point of bringing that up is you have to make a decision for yourself on what do you want to become. We talk a lot about level 5 leadership all the time. We say that it's like a normal thing in our company now, right? So like, what do you want to become? What do you want to be known for? What do you want to duplicate? Because you have to decide, are you more income driven or are you championship driven? And there's nothing wrong with either one of them, by the way. Kobe said it too when he got interviewed from Patrick before, unfortunately, that situation happened with him. What did he say? He said, it was so easy to play in the NBA because most people come here to become what? To make money. They're cool. They made their money. They bought their mom a house. They got all their friends now coming to the house all the time. They can get any car they want. They make money. They're good. So now they don't really have a drive to even keep doing it anymore because they were here for the money. He says, I wasn't here for the money. That's why I knew I can beat you. And there's nothing wrong with you here come from the money, by the way. Most people are coming to PHP simply because you know you can make a lot of money. Because that's how we recruit. Let me show you. Oh, we made 60-something thousand. Oh, here, the last 40 days. This is what it is, 40 grand. We can show it on marketing all day, but we recruit a lot of people on what? Money. And then we try to transform them to what? Crusaders. Did you see what we're doing? Like, so we recruit a lot of people on money. And that's where we get them in first. Then we have to try to change their head to their heart to say, you know what? Like, you want to be a Crusader? Can you be a franchise player? Are you someone who wants to run for us and make history together? And that's how most people start. And it's okay. So you have to make a decision on which one drives you. You guys been here more, like none of one's here that hasn't been here less than a year. That makes sense. You guys been here. You guys are all pretty seasoned at this point. So you make a decision. Which one drives me? Which one is it? Money driven? Like when I make my $250,000 pass every month, and that's when I slow down. Is that what makes me slow down? Or is it when I get this many championships, I slow down? You have to figure that out for you. So I'm going to show a calculator really quickly. It's pretty cool. That way you can figure it out. So there's two of them, right? Depending on how you are driven. And when we say last dance, ain't nobody on this call ready for a last dance yet. Last dance means by 2029. Does that make sense? That's why it says on the flyer that we created, it says 2029 last dance, all right? Because ain't nobody in no last dance yet, all right? Nobody ran no million-point base or whatever it is. So a championship means you run a million-point base shop. So our conversation this weekend will be tons about million-point base shop, getting focused on that. So what does that look like? So you have, if you look on my left-hand side, can you guys see this? I'm gonna try to speed this up because again, we're gonna be walking to another elite meeting in a minute. But we're going to go through this probably in our MD. I just want to introduce this to you guys so we can kind of go through it. So this right here says career calculator by Chip. What does Chip mean? Million-point base shop. Okay. Then you also have a career calculator by what? Income. So whatever drives you. Maybe you're an athlete that says, you know what? Because you're all athletes in my eyes. Like you all got drafted. You're all in the league. Like that's what it is. We're on the pro level now. So what type of athlete you want to be? Are you the one that's driven by money? You want contracts? Or are you driven by championships? Which one drives you? And we love you both, by the way. So don't think either one's wrong. Okay. So you just have to decide which one you're going to run with. So if you go by income, it solves it for you. You might say, you know what? Shoot, how much I want a month? Shoot, I want $300,000 a month. Cool. Well, by when? I can use me an example. I'm 32 years old. I'll say I'll run to 40. Cool. So what does that tell me? I have what? My base shop commitment is 8 years. This is example, right? I'm just putting my numbers in, all right? 8 years. Cool. I'm going to go hard for 8 years. How many chips I'm going to get? Which means how many million-point base shops I'm going to get? I need to have 5. Calculates it for me. Right? Because every million-point base shop, I get 5 MDs. So the average MD has 10 MDs. So that total of MDs over running 5 million point base shops is 250 MDs. So the average monthly production of each MD is 20 grand, by the way. So if I get a 6% override monthly on that, that means the team production monthly is at $5 million. The agency override would be 300 grand. That would be $3.6 million a year. Did you see how that's up? So that's solving for what? Income. Make sense? Some of you might say, I want $500,000. You think bigger. Great. You want $1 million a month. Great. You think bigger. Well, obviously that number is going to increase based on how many years you're running. Does that kind of make sense? So let's go to the other side. Maybe you're a person that says, you know what? I'm going to use me again as an example. Current age is 32 years old. I want to be done by, say, 40. Great. I have 8 years of just going ham. Okay. 8 years we going ham. Great. So let's say that I want 5 championships, because now I can solve for what? Championships. Shoot, let's say I want 10. The numbers increase depending on how many championships I want. Say, man, I love Jordan so much, man. I just want to be 6 like you, man. I want 6 championships like you, bro. Okay, cool. 6. Well, how many MDs going to be popped out? 5. Average MD, 10. Total MD is going to be created, 300 from running that. From running 6 championships, 300 MDs. What's my override going to be? 360. But I'm not here for that. That's going to come by default. I'm going to run for the championships because I'm championship focused. It's whatever you want to run, you know? So this calculator kind of solves. So now you're like, okay, what am I here for? Am I solving for financial freedom in my future, or am I solving for a championship so I can make history? So I'm in the history books. Either way, you're gonna be good. But you got to make the decision on which one you want to be. And then right here kind of breaks it down, because step 2 is your your GBs. And GB doesn't really start until at level 3, when the company pays 100% of all your cash flow to you. Like all the points you submit, they give you everything. So the company doesn't override you anymore at level 3 GB. So everybody on this call should not be thinking level 1, level 2. They should always be solving for level 3. Because those two are great and they pay you, give extra 2,500, 7,500, depending on how much personal you drive, of course. But the real major income drives from level 3 GEB. So when you start solving, you're solving in your base shops right now so that you can start clicking the 50, 100,000 every month. That's what you're preparing for. There's a big base shop for that, right? We all are. That's why we got to go wide and everything else. So how can you get it? That's step 2. Step 1 is like, how do I get it? I have to run dream team numbers. So the key is very simple. I go to step 3 first because I know where I'm going. I can't, like, this doesn't get me excited to make 200 calls a week, 10 RI, 6 fast starts, 4, whatever. That doesn't get me excited. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Maybe it gets you fired up to do it every week. It doesn't get me excited. Let me make these calls. Like, I have to psych myself up to do it. Like mentally, like I say, okay, I'm calling because I know they need something. All right, Lord, Holy Spirit, lead me. I'm gonna start drafting these calls now. Cool. But I'm not driven that way. What drives me is I got to know where I'm going. I'm a vision person. Like, if I do this, like, what's going to happen? Like, what's the result? And does it mathematically backed up? So there's probabilities in my favor. Like, I just need probability to be in my favor. If I do this long enough in the compounds, I'm gonna be okay. And my people will be okay if I tell them this formula. Great. So these numbers are now ran because I know that it puts me in this position, because I know what I'm really running for. Does that kind of make sense? So I'm trying to tell you, because for so long we ran these numbers, and it was ran because we had to do it, because it wasn't exciting. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, I wasn't excited because I didn't know, like, what am I running for? Like, am I running for a championship? Am I running for, like, I don't even know. Like, I'm just, all right, Pat. Yeah, we did our 250 calls, but it wasn't exciting. Like, I'm just being honest with you. Every time I'm doing, like, I didn't have no fire for it. It was almost like you had to do it. Like, you know, get like a honeydew list, men. Like you get a honeydew list. Like, let me just do this because I love my wife. But I really don't want to do the honeydew list, right? But I love her so much, I'm gonna do it anyways. You know, that's kind of what it was. Like, I'm gonna do these numbers because I have to, but I know I don't really feel like doing them. All right, I don't know if anybody else is like that. So when you figure out what your vision is and how you can solve for it, what that income is, what your lifestyle can be, then you could dream sell yourself all the time. Then you say fired up, because then you can say, hey, babe, you know what's going to happen when we go hard like this? Gosh, you know how much income that is? And what could we, what kind of houses would you like? Not the house, like houses. Like where do you want to live? Is it like, you know, like, do you want to switch a house every month at that point when we're done for base shop? Like, that's the life you're going to be like, because man, you know, you start gauging your life. Well, how old are kids going to be? You know, how are your parents going to be? What can you possibly do? What type of family? So then you can dream again. I don't know too many places you can dream right now in COVID-19 scenarios and pandemics when so many people are losing jobs. So we can actually dream and actually put incomes together that can solve this stuff. And this will always be the secret. This will be the secret. This will be the secret right here. Levels of gratitude. It always will be. There's no secret to this game, but this is the secret, and that you can fight it if you want. Doesn't work for you. There's a reason why everyone says, are you coachable? Your line speed of instruction. Has the most attitude of gratitude? You hear it every call, don't you? Every MD call, don't you hear the same thing from the same people over and over and over again? Like it doesn't work? It obviously works. So what's the secret? The secret is actually following it. So it's called levels. Okay, you have levels to the game, and then you have performance. So the first level of gratitude, okay, is a thank you. This will be my last subject, and then I'm gonna end, okay, with the 3 pillars, because I'm gonna give you guys a 20-minute break, and we have elite meeting coming up in a little bit. Okay, so the first pillar is thank you. Dr. Cooper, thank you for giving me and my wife an opportunity. I wonder what we'd be doing today. Probably still, we probably got let go at this point because we were doing really well at our jobs. So we probably got furloughed or something if we were still working, right? You know, I wonder what we would still be doing. So the first level is thank you. So what's my thank you? Dr. Cooper, I'm going to make sure I do PC every month and 10,000 points plus monthly. That's a thank you. That's the first level of gratitude. Second level, Dr. Cooper, okay, which is pretty general. I'm going to produce. I'm a general to you now, Coop. Like, you can count me as a general, and I want to thank you on a level 2 basis. So what's a level 2? I'm going to produce 100,000 and 300,000 points to your base shop before I leave. I'm a general to you. Okay, you can speed it up within a year if you like. Level 3. Coop, I want to be a partner. I just don't want to be a general. I want to be a partner with you now. So I'm going to not just hit MD, but I'm also going to get my ring, because you showed me this business and this thing works. So I know to get a ring, all they really do is go in the field. That's how you get on the field. Gotta go wide, go in the field. That's how you get a ring. So that means now I'm a partner to you. I'm one of your ring earners. That's a level 3 type of gratitude to him. Next, and when I say him, I mean Tasha Cooper as well. And level 4 would be what? I want to be a loyal partner to you. So I mean, I'm going to now commit to run a 1 million point base shop or become an SVP, because I want to be a pillar to you. And then level 5, which is cut off right here, but it's the ultimate gratitude. Okay, we talk level 5s all the time. Ultimate level gratitude is to really help your upline become a master builder. So you have to run a 1 million point base shop, become a senior vice president or higher, and become a $1 million earner. That is your ultimate gratitude. That is the saying the thank you to the highest level. That's a major pillar. So you decide what level of gratitude you have, because the more gratitude you have, the faster you move. And it's crazy how the faster your organization moves. It's weird. It's very, very weird. Okay. So with that, I wanted to bring that to you guys. We'll talk about a lot, but I think it's very important for you to figure out again, are you more, what type of pro are you? You're all pros now. but what pro are you? Because everyone has different, when they play the game, they all play differently.